Makes
Thank
sense?
you.
Yeah, it's good. If we go to Adria in front of you, thanks.
So if there is no desire at all and willpower doesn't work, when I'm about to sin, what if I don't have a desire, then I'm better off sinning than using willpower to stop
No,
myself?
you're definitely not better off sinning, but at the end of the day, you're going to.
But I can, if there is no desire, I could use my willpower to stop myself from...
Yeah, but you're still sinning because you're trying to use willpower and not desire. Remember, that sins against the responsibility principle, and so that's every law. You're sinning. So you're still sinning. The attitude is still the same, and the attitude's not changing. Remember, God's laws measure the attitude. That's got to change. So using willpower just masks the attitude. So what's better? Isn't it better to acknowledge the attitude, or is it better to mask it over and cover it over and make out it's not there? Isn't it better to acknowledge rather than to cover it over? Certainly. So you can see that just even using willpower is a desire to mask over or cover over the actual attitude, which doesn't help you at all. You'd be better off going, hang on a sec, I really feel like sinning. And asking the magic question, the magic three-letter word, what? Why? Why do I? Just asking that has now created a desire, interestingly. Isn't that fascinating? Having a sincere desire to know why, basically in that moment starts shifting your desire, right? That's all you need to start with doing. Asking yourself, why do I want to sin here? Why do I want to go to bed with that woman for? I don't know if she's my soulmate or not. Why am I choosing to do that? It's got to be a reason. Just asking why is going to cause you to pause and actually probably not take the action. Possibly. You're going to still feel like taking the action, but the desire is saying, no, hang on a sec, I want to know why I want to take this action all the time. Because otherwise I finish up sleeping with woman after woman after woman after woman after woman. I don't know what I'm doing to my soulmate relationship here, but I'm certainly destroying my relationship with God. I've got to know why I'm doing this. That is a desire for self-awareness about the issue. As soon as the desire for self-awareness is gone, now I've got self-responsibility on that issue. I now want to be aware. There's a because this desire now engages higher principles, it's now I'm going to get feedback about why, what it is. What do I feel when I don't go to bed with her? What do I feel? Is it just that you feel like you're missing out, or is it just feel like I need something from her to validate me, or what is it that you feel? Because you start feeling that now that you've had a desire to ask why. But if you don't have a desire to ask why, you won't know, you see? So can you see it's like all we need to start with is that, and straight away, desire has shifted, right? As soon as desire shifts away from will, now we have a chance. We have a chance to change. Before then, we didn't have a chance to change. Before then, we just go, yep, opportunity arrives, yep, I'm doing it. Yep, and it's automatic. Yep, opportunity arrives, yes, I do that. Opportunity arrives to steal, yeah, I do that. Opportunity arrives to have sex with anybody, yes, I do that. Opportunity arises to, I don't know, you could list anything, couldn't you? Opportunity arises to get any addiction met, you're just going to go ahead and do it, unless you're asking yourself, why am I doing this? As soon as I ask why, my desire shifts. As soon as my desire shifts, I have a chance to change. Before then, no chance of change. And this is the reason why most people on earth, while they're on earth, don't change. Because they never ask why about anything. They just go ahead and do it. And particularly when it comes to emotions and feelings and impulses, they never ask why they have them. They never even ask whether it's possible to change them, so they don't change them. Yeah, makes sense, Adrian?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. If we go to Eloisa on this side.
I have a question about nurturing desires. So when you have a desire and then you ask why, and then good things start to happen, how do you keep doing that so that they continue rather than stagnate on the good bit?
Well, remember the law of attraction is operating on both conditions, is it not?
Correct.
So law of attraction is still going to bring you the negative condition until such a time as that condition actually has changed emotionally.
Yes. Okay.
So one great thing to work on is, why am I resisting emotion? You've learnt already that while an emotion exists inside of the soul, it determines your will. It's preclusion. It stops you from change while that emotion exists. All I need to do is develop a desire to know why I don't want to feel emotion.
Awesome. Yep.
Then I have a chance of changing. Does that make sense?
It does.
And then you'll see, if you allow yourself to be sensitive to that, which is another desire that you'll have to also develop, you might start feeling some of the emotional reasons why you are afraid of emotions.
Yes.
You know, and the law of attraction will bring you them because your desire is more powerful than your will. So your law of attraction the law of attraction will bring you events that help you see why you're so scared of emotion.
Awesome.
You go, and so that, let's say you stand up for yourself and you just get hammered. Oh, that's the reason why. Oh, I'm afraid of getting hammered every time. You actually deal with the fear of getting hammered, then you'll start telling the truth to people and you don't get hammered. Because now it's all, my will has changed from saying I'm afraid of getting hammered to being not afraid of getting hammered anymore. Ironically, I'll get less hammered. Right? Because the law of attraction is operating upon my will beforehand, I'm going to get hammered quite frequently. But now that my will has changed, I'll get less hammered. I speak the truth and I get less hammered. And I get to the point where I speak the truth and nobody hardly hammers you at all. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So just to clarify, so what you're saying is that my will right now, okay, it's all of this stuff and I'm attracting a lot of it's not very nice.
Yep.
But as soon as my desire goes and I emotionally deal with the current will, then my will actually has changed.
Yeah, but you've even got to have a desire to let go of the emotion, don't
Correct.
you?
I do.
And most people that I've met still listening to Divine Truth don't.
Yep, I do.
Right? So that's why things don't change. Because there's no desire to ask the question, why am I so afraid of emotion? Remember, in the second group, we ask the question why all the time.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yes.
Why am I like this? Why am I like that? The reason why we ask that question is because we're trying to encourage your desire, because we know that if we encourage your desire, you have a possibility of shifting from your current will-based condition. Right? But without the question why, you're not going to.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So rather than trying to force yourself to be different, you've got to ask, why do I want to stay the same? Can you see that? So trying to force yourself to be different is almost an impossible thing, because that's willpowering over what's actually inside of you, which is why you want to be the same as you currently are. You are what you are because you want to be what you are. That make sense to you? Right? And the only reason why that's not changing is because there's no desire to want to be something different on those issues. Mm-hmm. That's the only reason why it's not changing. When I want to be something different and I actually have faith that that is possible, and I actually do some experiments and ask why, now I have the chance to change. I didn't have that chance before, but now I have. All right? And this is what I see many of you just living in this space where you just do the same thing over and over again. Same situation, same thing. Same situation, same thing. Same situation, same thing. Da 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 da. Imagine if you had a song that in your head 24/7 and it was just going da 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 da. You know, after one day you'd be driven out of your mind. But this is what you're doing with your life. You're engaging the same thing the same way, the same thing the same way, the same thing the same way. No desire to ask why. Same thing the same way. Do you see what I'm saying?
I do.
And because you engage the same thing the same way every time, you've got no chance of change. right? You've got to stop at some point and ask yourself why. If you don't, you'll just not change. You will stay forever in that place. Now, as we learnt in our foundation principles, God created the development principle, which basically forces everything to change. Sooner or later, you're going to respond to those principles in law, right? Sooner or later. But I'm saying to you, no, here's a faster way of doing it. Rather than getting forced into the whole process, wouldn't it be better to engage this thing called desire and actually do the process because you want to? Remember, the will gets corrected. If we looked at the will principles, and the will gets corrected by forcing you to get to the stage where there's so much emotion in you, so much baggage in you, that you just burst. But the trouble is, most of us don't burst, we just dribble and release the pressure. It's like a pressure valve. You know those old crock pots where you just put it on the stove. You know, I don't know if any of you have done this. You put it on the stove and you forget to release the pressure valve, or the pressure valve gets stuck. Eventually the whole thing blows up, right? It just boom, wrecks the place. And this is what many of us are like. Many of us are like that. We just feel like, oh, as long as I just let a little bit of pressure off, I'll not blow up. And really what you need to do is just have a blow up and just get to the stage where that's what I'm like right now, this is what I am. And do I want to know why? You see?
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And that's why the emotion is so important, as you've been saying, because quite frankly, without doing it, there's no change.
Well, the emotion's very important, but even more important is asking myself why I don't want to feel it.
Yes, all right.
Because asking why, I've got a potential to shift from denying it, shutting it down, pushing it down, suppressing it, to a different place where I now start to allow it. Right?
Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Nikki, you'd like to